I think that Speaker Pelosi's trip was provocative and senseless, and therefore making it irresponsible and incredibly dangerous. I don't know what she expected to accomplish by taking this trip. All she did was really aggravate the Chinese, and the Chinese reaction, I think, up to this point, has been incredibly temperate. They have warned the United States very clearly that those who play with fire will be burned by it. And that in that they leave themselves open to whatever response they choose to use. I think it's important to understand that China is not going to be baited into a response a la shooting down her plane. Their response is going to be measured. It's going to be a response that they deem to be in their best interest and in the time frame that they see fit. The question, though, to me, the bigger question is not so much Nancy Pelosi as it is Joe Biden. Why didn't Joe Biden stop this fiasco? Why didn't he stop this irresponsible, reckless provocation? As the President of the United States, who told us during the campaign that he was going to lead with diplomacy, he has failed. He's leading with provocation. He never should have allowed this to happen.
Does it have anything to do with the midterms?
Oh, of course it has. It has a lot to do with midterms. The problem is, it's the wrong move. If they want to impact the midterms and the American electorate in a positive manner, do something about inflation, do something about the living wage, do something about health care, lower prices on pharmaceuticals, do the things that he promised he would do on the campaign trail, instead of traversing the world, bringing us to the brink of World War III, whether it be the provocation in Ukraine, whether it be the provocation in Taiwan, or, hey, Joe, here's an idea. Why don't you get the JCPOA done? Do some things that tamp down aggression, don't fan the flames of conflict.
Well, when you take a look at the situation, as you said, it's for the wrong reasons, or no reasons that you can see for there to be an achievement of any kind for the U.S. side, at least as far as we can see here. But when it comes to the Chinese response, we're looking at Xi Jinping, who's seeking a third term. And so far, the response has been this military exercises that basically, from what I see on a map right now, is they're revolving around the island. Do you think
Yes.
that is a strong enough response? Because he can't look weak, can he?
Well, I think what we always have to remember, I think the Chinese government is a lot like your government. Very thoughtful, temperate, and tends to act on its own timeline. Who was it that had the phrase, you have the watches, but we have the time? So by encircling the island, Xi Jinping could very well be preparing for an invasion of the island. I don't know. By encircling the island, he could be imposing an economic blockade on the island. So, we can't measure Xi Jinping's response by a Western standard. We have to measure his response by a Chinese standard. And it's also important to realize that now Russia is on record saying that they may offer support if asked by China. So I think there are a lot of things going on here behind the scenes that the United States is ill prepared to deal with.
Well, I'm going to bring this senator's name into my question to you,
Okay.
Senator Lindsey Graham. Because what he said, I want to get a reaction from you. And he said to abandon Taiwan would be to abandon democracy and freedom. So here's my promise to you and the Taiwanese people: we're going to start making China pay a greater price for what they're doing all over the world. What kind of greater price do you think Lindsey Graham is talking about? And is that the kind of view that U.S. politicians and lawmakers have, actually?
Lindsey Graham, let's see. The same guy who told us that Donald Trump was a lying megalomaniac. That Lindsey Graham, who then became one of Donald Trump's greatest champions. So Lindsey Graham is a guy whose word means absolutely nothing because Lindsey Graham can't stand by the things that he says. Now, when Lindsey Graham says he's going to make China pay, how do you plan to do that, Lindsey Graham? Look, if the United States sends a battle group into the Taiwan Strait, China can sink it in 10 minutes with hypersonic missiles. What can the U.S. do other than nothing? China has 80 submarines traversing the seas. What can the United States do? We can start the war. The question is, can we finish it? And do we want to start the war? Because again, that's World War III. That ends the game for everybody. So Lindsey Graham is a fool.
Yeah, I should have probably just ignored the name and brought the question out. Okay, thank you. Wilmer Leon, thank you. Appreciate it. Wilmer Leon, there, columnist and political scientist. Thank you so much.